Otto Warmbier has died. He was the college kid held hostage by the North Koreans. He died yesterday with his family by his side. And other things to look at, a Minnesota man rubs hot sauce in an infant's eyes, throws fireworks in the baby's face, this all according to investigators. And Caitlyn Jenner is ripped for a comment about the Scalise shooting.
You are now listening to the Spearsy Spin with your host, Mike Spears.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Spearsy Spin. Well, we have several different topics this evening, but first, a word about the Spearsy Spin. We are once again being updated. We have, I'm told, brand new show teasers that are coming out at the end of the week. They have yet to arrive here from the West Coast, so I'm anxious to hear them. One of the teasers is voiced by Sam Elliott, I'm told. And no, it's not me impersonating Sam Elliott. I do a lot of voices. Well, that's not one of them, though. Also, I understand we have at least one new promo for the Spearsy Spin. This is from the Adult Swim cartoon classic, Rick and Morty. Again, this is not me doing an impersonation. Now, we're also adding here a thing called Sony Pro post-production software, and that will deliver a much stronger resonation with regard to vocals. So we can't wait for that. Well, tonight we start off with the heartbreaking story of a Minnesota man who's accused of abusing his infant daughter by rubbing hot sauce in her eyes, then snapping her in the face with a towel, and then throwing fireworks at her. A criminal complaint has been filed, and it's alleged that Sean Michael Foltz, 31, was arrested and charged Friday with child neglect, malicious punishment of a child, and third-degree assault. This, of course, according to the Duluth News-Tribune. The 2-month-old's mother brought the baby to the hospital with bruises on her face and all over her body. The mother said that Foltz, the boyfriend/father, claimed the infant received the injuries when her brother hit her with a toy gun. However, Foltz later told police during questioning that he would snap a towel in the baby's face and hit her bottom with a spoon or vinyl flooring because he was sick of her crying. This according to the complaint that was filed against him. It's also alleged that he would splash hot water and throw fireworks in her face, causing burns to her face and body. The mistreatment of the baby lasted for about 2 months, with Foltz rubbing hot sauce and cayenne pepper into the baby's eyes and choking her until she was blue. Again, this according to the Duluth News-Tribune. Now, even more demonstrative was the fact that Foltz, while at work, would plot ways to abuse his daughter, and of course that's what's alleged in the complaint. Mr. Foltz, thankfully, is being held at Clay County Jail with a $100,000 bond. Now, I know that you folks are as besieged with anger about this as I am, and I know that I usually supply a psychological narrative to try and explain the actions associated with people like the accused. But, you know what? To hell with Foltz, and to hell with his problems. Because we can no longer sit by and wave a magical mental health wand at someone to try and explain away these atrocities. I mean, and it's not just me. Ask any mental health professional over 45 years of age and see what they tell you. Now, Mr. Foltz apparently has admitted to this horrific action, and in my opinion, after a fair trial, if found guilty, he should be sentenced to 10 years in prison, therapy, and then be reassessed by a psychiatrist before being released from prison. Further, Mr. Foltz should receive a 50-year order of precautionary issue estoppel that would forbid him to come within 50 feet of any person under the age of 18.
The mainstream media gets their facts wrong. Those leaning far left aren't happy with the status quo. Americans have never seen this much disinformation being disseminated. Watch the news, then listen to the Spearsy Spin with political commentator Mike Spears. The Spearsy Spin, now on Google, Twitter, Facebook, thespearsyspin.blogspot.com, and YouTube. Many listeners refer to Mike Spears as the new Walter Cronkite.
Well, now turning to international news for just a minute, the United States public was saddened yesterday at the passing of Otto Warmbier. Warmbier was held hostage for 17 months in prison by the North Koreans. He was released and flown home last week, suffering with extreme brain damage. He died yesterday at University of Cincinnati Medical Center, surrounded by his family. Now, President Trump condemns the brutal North Korean regime for allowing this to happen. President Trump slammed North Korea yesterday after the death of the college student Otto Warmbier, who was released by the communist nation in a coma last week. President Trump said a lot of bad things happened, and he was in a meeting with technology CEOs when he said that. But at least we got him home to be with his parents. It's a brutal regime, Trump went on, and we'll be able to handle it. Now, meanwhile, Secretary of State Rex Tillerson said the United States held North Korea accountable for Warmbier's unjust imprisonment and demanded that the country release 3 other Americans that is currently holding prisoner for alleged crimes against the state. The United States government has previously accused North Korea of using such detainees as political pawns. Warmbier's family said in a statement yesterday that the awful, torturous mistreatment of their son received at the hands of the North Koreans meant that no other outcome was possible beyond the sad one that they experienced yesterday. Now, Secretary of State, again, Rex Tillerson, said they murdered him for certain. This outcome was not what they intended. They normally torture our people that they're holding, but we normally get them back because they use them as bargaining chips. That's the reason they take these hostages. That, of course, according to Rex Tillerson, Secretary of State. So, North Korea, what do we do about Kim Jong-un? Should we attempt to have him taken out? Is the United States, should the United States, I guess, initiate war with North Korea? But if we do, how many South Koreans would die from their meaning North Korea's immediate counterstrike? Because it only takes about 60 seconds for the North Koreans to launch a missile attack into South Korea. Well, up next, Caitlyn Marie Jenner, formerly known as Bruce Jenner, is an American television personality and retired Olympic gold medal winner. Now, Jenner is being ripped for comments about the Scalise shooting. She said, quote, "Liberals can't even shoot straight," end quote. Now, this was Jenner's comment concerning last week's shooting of GOP baseball players that were practicing in Alexandria, Virginia, that left House Majority Whip Steve Scalise critically injured. Jenner spoke at the College Republicans' National Convention Gala last week, and she was asked about her thoughts regarding the shooting. However, her remarks have now floated onto Facebook in a video that is now going viral. Many people took to Twitter to express their disgust for the 67-year-old's remarks. So, here we have Miss Jenner using this horrific act to take a dig at both liberals and Democrats. It's shameful. Now, I myself am a Republican, and I can tell you that it's totally wrong. As we said in one of the other shows here not long ago, if we don't come together as a nation and stop the hate and stop the name-calling, this violence will erupt time and time again. Democrat or Republican, it doesn't matter. Hurting innocent people is never okay. Now, I know that I'm not going to use any further inflammatory rhetoric against the Democrats or the liberals, but I will voice my opinion, but not in any derogatory way. I'll address the issues only.
Every year, almost 40 children die of heat stroke after being forgotten in a vehicle. In 70-degree weather, it takes only minutes for the inside of a car to heat up like an oven. At 104 degrees, heat stroke begins, followed by loss of consciousness.
Yeah. Should go an hour and a half or so.
Leave without your child, live without them forever. Look before you lock. Brought to you by Kids in Cars.
Tell your friends and neighbors about the Spearsy Spin.
So that's our show. Now you know what we think. We would love to know what you think. So please visit us at thespearsyspin.blogspot.com and leave us your thoughts. Remember, we all live on just one planet. I prefer to live out my life in peaceful adoration. What say you? We will see everyone back here on Friday. And who knows, maybe the new promos will be here by then. Let's hope. See you, folks.